What's the link between the moon cycle and mental health? Mostly people with mental health tend to deteriorate when the moon is in a certain position. Tahuti. Right. Great question. I shook the mouse again. You see, when we say the moon, we have to, if we use the correct name, which relates to lunar, right? Lunar. You can hear lunatic. And that's because there is a connection between the moon and the female is tied more into that cycle because of the waters, right? Remember when we're dealing with water, water is in our bodies as well. We are more percent liquid than we are anything else. So the tides that pull, the moon pulls them, that affect the menstrual cycles of the women as well. And I'm trying to keep it, but normally when women are on their menstrual cycle, if they haven't learned how to regulate and they're taking herbs or whatever, that's the time of the month where, you can expect any type of being from the female where they're reacting to those mental energies that the sun has a pull on the tides and the menstrual cycle. So the link between the moon cycle and mental health is because it does affect your mind, it affects your energy, it affects the way you act, it affects the way you deal with the energies that are that you're being subjected to during that time. And it goes back to the holy tablets, to the being known as Lunar, right? Where you get the word lunar from, or lunatic from. And he was a bit deranged, and he actually was, responsible for blowing up a planet, and as you said, Kingu at the time. And so yeah, that has a relation. If you want to read more about that topic, I would advise you to read the Lotus of Life on the Sacred Feminine, here by Pana Babyanun, which goes into more detail. And I'm sure there are other scrolls as well. Oh yeah, Planet Earth is woman. That's an actual fact. That's a Planet Earth is woman is a Patarak as well. I don't know if I've got it here. I'll have a quick look. But yeah, so remember, we say the woman, but the woman is connected to the man because the man comes from the woman. So when they're going through what they're going through, yeah, I do have it. The planet Earth is woman. They then affect you because in your environment, you hear the phrase happy wife, happy life. So you do get affected by their condition at the time or what they're going through. So it does affect everyone. I'm just trying to see if I can find something relating to. But you notice when females get together and they're all in harmony, they can synchronize their menstrual cycle and become one and work together. And they're kind of much more controlled in terms of how they manage their cycles, and they can share information where they will know what herbs to take and so on. And remember that the women came first and they spoke first. I'm trying to find anything that I can read to you that kind of relates to that. Okay, there's a bit here that's really interesting. Yeah, let me touch on that. So I'm gonna go back to, I'll read 2 pages. So tying to what I said about the women being first to able to speak. I'll go from verse 44. You were given speech 54,000 years ago in Afafreye Ka'a, Africa. 45. And led you only you to the portals of this realm. Okay. 46. Parnatharu made guardians of the gateways to be born. Neutral gender, right? That ties into what I was saying about the hermaphrodite and hermaphrodite. So they were neutral gender. 47. To know and keep the way to the portals. Parbawab Dawam. The gateway vortex, or Babilu in Sumerian, which means the door to Nan-Nar, their god Bab or Baal. This doorway is now the southeast gate. They have all the monotheistic religions facing the east when they pray, not knowing they have redirected their energy to a demon. 48. The truth is the entrances of the gates have shifted with the reshifting of the 23-degree axis of the planet. So where the planet was at 23 degrees, it's now being shifted. 49. So what was once the east gate has now shifted in the position of the southeast gate. 50. The southeast gate is where those who have passed from this life will be able to pass back to this world or physical realm. Those including disembodied spirits. 51. These spectres or demons are waiting to pass back into this world through this gate for their own purposes and can torture the spirit passing on who has not made that connection with their Salafu or ancestors, for then they are without guidance. 52. The spirit being must have made contact with their Salafu ancestors while here on Taha or earth, because it is they who will guide you as you pass through the gate after you have made your transition from this world to the next. 53. They will protect you and fight for you. 54. However, what was the northeast gate or our exist has also shifted. 55. So it is very important to connect with your family, and we must have everything and everyone in place before these gateways are reopened. 56. The gatekeepers, also referred to as Muknashtatu, hermaphrodites, and Muknashu, hermaphrodites. 57. The original unison beings who vibrate twice as powerful as non-neuter gender male and female, or XX and XY to XYX and YXY. The deities. This is what I was saying about other genders, right? Not just XX and XY. 58. This is what females as women should not forget. She is unlike all other living creatures and the trustee of a divine mission in her very physical body as the monthly shapeshifter. So during that monthly cycle, women do shapeshift, right? 59. For a woman not only gives life to a mortal being, she also bears a spark of divinity in her to the earth, Taha, earth. And there can be no greater responsibility. 60. Many unknowingly gave up this divine right by mixing their body fluids with children of the beast in black skin. 61. They slept and exchanged their fluids, and in doing so lost their virginity and divinity. 62. Then became used, going from man to man, male to male, and some even with man's kind. 63. They must be cleaned inside out and outside in. 64. In order to regain their divinity and powers. All right. 65. The eye that oversees earthly things is ever watchful and knows who did not know better or best. 66. The right eye that sees spiritual things is true. 67. Then, because of the things that happen, the great right eye of Ray, that saw truth, was closed, and henceforth women walked in falsity. 68. Unable to perceive truth, women fell from grace and saw only that which deceives them, lust and luster. 69. And so it was to be until their awakening. 70. Not knowing Parnatharu, men and women worshipped Ka'u, spirits, Tarafu, ghosts, spectres, and nature looked at the actual sun in the Parpatat, the sky, as the deity over the earth, called earth spirits, because they seemed, 71, because they seemed to provide and supply their needs. 72. Parnatharu were not displeased, for such is the nature of children when they fear the unknown. 73. They created unseen deities, monsters to depend on with no help at all. 74. For 6,000 years you worship what or who you know not, what spookism or spirits of others dead. 75. For 6,000 years your eyes have been closed in a sleep like Nawam, the spell of sleep, a spell of ignorance. 76. As children you have to relearn your way, the way, Tarat. 77. And no longer children, and when no longer children, you must put aside childish things. All right. I could go on and on, but it does go in and it starts to tie into the relationship between the female and the moon, and how, when she come together and become one, how, we can really affect change, because it's all about the female right now. It's you that have to regain and take back your rightful position, okay, as the daughters of Sabatat or Sirius, yeah, where you came from originally. And it's saying that obviously the last 6,000 years, the spell of Kingu, which ties into the moon, is why people are blinded, and that it has ended, and males must restore the females, and the females must restore themselves. The women must regain her divinity by way of Wu-Sabat. And if you haven't got this part of that, you really do need to get it as a sacred feminine. And it's called The Planet Earth is Woman.